Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm Bryan Hoch, and welcome to the Edward Jones Reporter's Inbox. Here at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees are getting ready to take on the Seattle Mariners here, second game of a four-game series. So let's get to the questions. First question is, hello, my question is, do you see the Yankees going after Dallas Keuchel or James Shields? My answer is no, I don't. I think that if the Yankees were going to go after Dallas Keuchel, you would have seen it by now. I think there's hesitancy around the league to go after Keuchel. I think a major part of that is the compensation draft pick attached to him, and that's why you don't see a whole lot of activity in his market. I know he had an interview today where he said he's willing to wait it out and see what goes on out there. So I think possibly maybe after the June draft you see him land somewhere where a team would not have to give up a draft pick for Keuchel, but I don't see it happening here. I never sensed that the Yankees were very in on him, and as far as a pitcher like Shields goes, I think they're willing to go with what they have here because they've got Luis Severino coming back, they believe, in July. That would be probably as good a pickup as you can have. The rotation, you lost James Paxton this week, but they feel okay with Jonathan Loaizaga, so I think they're going to continue to fill from within, and you saw with the Gio Gonzalez release that they didn't want to add a big salary to the rotation. So that's a long way of saying no, I don't see Dallas Keuchel wearing Yankee pinstripes. Second question, what has been your opinion of the Yankees bullpen so far, and what has been unexpectedly good or bad? Good, I would say Tommy Kahnle has been far and away exceeded my expectations this year. You know, I don't think any of us really knew what to expect from him coming off a season last year where he was frustrated. He said it wasn't fun to come to the ballpark because he couldn't do the things he wanted to do. He spent a lot of time during the offseason, dropped about 20 to 25 pounds. He was drinking 5 Red Bulls a day. That is not good for you. Certainly cannot help your pitching on the mound. So he's living a healthier lifestyle, and the velocity has jumped back up. I don't think that the Red Bull necessarily is why he's throwing 2 miles an hour harder, but it can't hurt. So he's back out there. He's a force at the back end of the bullpen, and combined with Adam Ottavino, they're waiting for Dellin Betances to get back. Kahnle has been a really strong addition to that group. What's been bad? I think that there have been guys who have had struggles. Zach Britton would be the first to tell you he has not lived up to what he wants his season to look like. He looked a lot better last night, though. Pitched 1 1/3 scoreless innings. I think that when he gets back to having that sinker ball and attacking hitters the way he did in Baltimore, and let's not forget, he's coming back from an Achilles surgery, so he's not all the way back. He looked good at the end of last year. Maybe he can pick it up here as well. This bullpen with Chapman leading to him, I think that there's a reason we all talked about this was going to be one of the best bullpens in history. It hasn't quite got there yet, but there's still time. Third question, what is the Yankees' plan for Clint Frazier once Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge return? This is a little down the road because we don't really know when Stanton and Judge are going to come back. You know, they've been pretty tight-lipped on details as far as Judge. He hasn't done much other than ride an exercise bike and work out in the weight room. So I think we're talking about weeks, if not months, for Aaron Judge. Stanton's going to try and swing a bat here, but I am curious to see how that's going with the shoulder injury that stemmed from the biceps injury. It's kind of a chain reaction of things going on here. And he only talked to us for about a minute and a half last night, but didn't really have a whole lot of answers for us. So like I said, I think Clint Frazier's going to get his opportunity to shine here, and that's what he said. He said he doesn't have a whole lot to prove back down there at AAA. All he needed was a chance. He's going to get that here. I think Aaron Hicks will beat both Stanton and Judge back to the lineup. So Hicks could be back this weekend, and that might cut into Frazier's playing time a little bit, but I think what he's shown here, he's going to continue to get at bats. They want to see him produce at the big league level. Let's see. Fourth, how is Didi Gregorius doing? Didi's doing great down there in Tampa. He's hit every single checkpoint as he's returning from Tommy John surgery on that elbow. Brian Cashman had said June, July, or August for Didi Gregorius' return. That's a pretty big window. But now the updated timetable is Gregorius could be playing in an extended spring training game as soon as May 20, excuse me. So May 20, that's what, 2 or 3 weeks away from Didi getting real legitimate at-bats against competition. And if that happens and he continues to hit everything, he could be playing shortstop out here, I believe, during the month of June. So that would be great for the Yankees. You know, they miss him. They miss that leadership, that presence in the dugout, the clubhouse, and on the field. So the sooner they can get Didi Gregorius back, the better. Let's see. Number 5. Is Miguel Andujar still an option at first base, given the fact he has been recently activated from the injured list? It's something they talked about, but he didn't play any first base, and to my knowledge, has not taken ground balls over there recently. Their focus was getting him back as a third baseman, making sure he could make that throw across the infield consistently and strong. He played one game at third base, had a couple errors. One was a throwing error, so I kind of chalk that up mostly to rust. He obviously had not played since the third game of the year. Gio Urshela has been terrific over there at third base, so I think that reduces the urgency to have Andujar play defensively at third base. He can DH while you wait for some of those other bats to come back, but the way Luke Voit is playing at first base, I don't think there's a whole lot of urgency to get Andujar over there either. It's an option. It's something they could do the same way Austin Romine has played first base here and there, but I don't think it's something they want to do on a regular basis. Do you think we will trade any youngsters since their stocks are so high right now? I think that if there's a need, the Yankees are always willing to talk about moving some of their prospects. The one example that comes to my mind is for the James Paxton trade. They needed a starting pitcher, so they were willing to give up on Justice Sheffield and a couple other guys in that trade with Seattle. And, that might not be the best example considering that Paxton's on the injured list right now, but he filled a need. They wanted a front-of-the-rotation starter, somebody they could pair with Severino, and they were willing to do that. So Brian Cashman's always looking at that kind of stuff, but they would also prefer to keep those prospects for themselves. Clint Frazier's a perfect example of that. There's been a ton of teams calling for Clint Frazier, interested in him dating back to before last year. Gary Sanchez, same situation when he was coming up through the farm system, on and on. And these are guys that the Yankees want to keep in the fold, if at all possible. So I think it's something they're open to. They've certainly traded prospects in the past, but the way we've seen it this year, there have been opportunities way more in the Bronx than we probably all anticipated for these young players to come up. And Thairo Estrada being a perfect example, hit his first big league home run last night, and the Yankees really do believe he's going to be a consistent, reliable, everyday big league player at some point. So keep those guys around as long as you can. All right, last question here. Let's finish up with number 7. No Madison Bumgarner. How about going after Corey Kluber or Trevor Bauer maybe? The Yankees put a pretty good hit on Bumgarner out there in San Francisco. I'm not sure if he's exactly the guy you want to go after. And, we talked about wanting to keep prospects for yourself. I think the Giants may have kind of missed their window to trade Bumgarner. So Kluber, there's some injury concerns there as well. I saw a report today where, there's some question if he'll even pitch at all this year. So Bauer was a guy that Cashman and the front office did talk to Cleveland over the offseason about. And, this was pre-Miguel Andujar injury, but that was something that was talked about. Clearly nothing materialized. So I do think that the Yankees are going to stand firm with the rotation they have for now. They do believe that they're going to get Severino back after the All-Star break, and that might be as solid of a pickup as any team could get. Last year they traded for Luke Voit. He wound up being one of the most impactful offensive players in the second half last year, even more impactful than Manny Machado. Maybe Luis Severino turns out to be that guy in the second half, so we'll see. That wraps it up here from Yankee Stadium. Once again, for the Edward Jones Reporters Inbox, I'm Bryan Hoch, Yankees reporter for MLB.com. We'll catch you next time.